John D. Rockefeller. Part 1. The Man Who Owned Everything. At one point, one man controlled almost all the oil in the United States. Not some oil, not half, almost everything. John D. Rockefeller did not look powerful. He did not speak loudly. He did not live like a king. But his decisions shaped prices, cities, jobs, and entire lives. People worked because of him, traveled because of him, heated their homes because of him. Most of them never saw his face. Rockefeller was born poor. His childhood was unstable. His father disappeared for long periods of time. Money came and went. From a young age, John learned one rule: control brings safety. He counted every cent. He wrote everything down. He hated waste. He believed that order creates power. While others chased opportunity, Rockefeller chased structure. When oil was discovered, most people saw chaos, wild drilling, fast money, risk. Rockefeller saw something else, a system waiting to be built. He did not drill the most oil. He refined it. He transported it. He priced it. Slowly, quietly, he bought competitors or destroyed them by lowering prices they could not survive. This was not speed. This was patience. Rockefeller believed one simple idea: competition is a sin. To him, chaos was immoral, efficiency was good, control was responsibility. His company, Standard Oil, grew until it controlled nearly everything. Railroads depended on him. Politicians listened to him. Markets moved when he decided. Rockefeller never needed to shout. He owned the system. People began to ask dangerous questions. How much power is too much? Can one man control an entire industry? And what happens when money becomes more powerful than government? This is not a story about success. It is a story about control and how one quiet man built an empire without wearing a crown. Part 2. The Man Who Owned Everything. Rockefeller did not become powerful by accident. He studied details others ignored: transportation costs, refining waste, small contracts. He understood that money is not made only by growth. It is made by control of the process. While competitors fought each other, Rockefeller made deals in silence. He negotiated secret discounts with railroads. He paid less to move oil than anyone else. That changed everything. If you can sell cheaper than others, you can wait longer. And if you can wait longer, you win. One by one, competitors faced the same choice: sell to Rockefeller or disappear. Many sold. Some resisted. Their prices were undercut, their supplies delayed, their access to railroads limited. Rockefeller did not attack openly. He squeezed. He believed that stability was more important than fairness, that one strong system was better than many weak ones. This thinking worked. Standard Oil became so large that it could influence the entire market. Prices stopped jumping wildly. Oil became reliable, predictable. For many people, this felt like progress. For others, it felt like danger. Journalists began to write about him. Politicians began to worry. The word monopoly entered public conversation. Rockefeller listened and adjusted. He stayed out of sight. He let others speak for him. He avoided public conflict. He understood that power attracts attention, and attention attracts resistance. Behind closed doors, his system grew even stronger. He believed something deeply: if you control the foundation, you don't need permission. But the country was changing. People began to question extreme wealth. Laws slowly caught up with power, and the idea that one man could own everything started to feel unacceptable. Rockefeller had built an empire. Now he had to protect it, and the pressure was only beginning. Part 3. The man who owned everything. For years, Rockefeller stayed in the shadows. He did not give speeches. He did not explain himself. He let the system speak. But eventually, the country noticed. People began to ask why one company controlled almost everything. Why prices moved together. Why small businesses kept disappearing. The government listened. New laws appeared. One of them was clear and dangerous for Rockefeller. The Sherman Antitrust Act. Its message was simple: no one is above competition. For the first time, Rockefeller faced something he could not buy or control quietly. Pressure grew. Journalists exposed his methods. Courts opened cases. Politicians spoke about fairness and freedom. Rockefeller reacted calmly. He did not panic. He did not fight loudly. He reorganized. Instead of one visible company, Standard Oil became many companies under one structure. On paper, it looked legal. In reality, control remained. This was Rockefeller's skill. When rules changed, he adapted faster than the rules themselves. He believed that laws are temporary, systems are permanent. Still, the pressure did not stop. In 1911, the Supreme Court made a decision that shocked the business world. Standard Oil was ordered to break apart. The empire was officially divided. Many believed this was the end. It was not. Rockefeller owned shares in every new company. When they separated, their value increased. His wealth grew even larger. What was meant to limit his power multiplied it. Rockefeller became richer than ever. This moment revealed something uncomfortable. Breaking a system does not always break control. Sometimes, it strengthens it. Rockefeller had lost his empire on paper. But in reality, he had secured something more important: distance. He stepped away from business. He avoided public attention. He focused on something new: legacy. Part 4. The man who owned everything. After years of control, pressure, and conflict, Rockefeller stepped back. Not because he was defeated, because he was finished building. He was already one of the richest men in history. His name was known everywhere. His power no longer needed daily management. But something was wrong. Rockefeller's health collapsed. He stopped sleeping. His hair fell out. His body weakened. Doctors warned him. Stress was destroying him. For the first time, Rockefeller faced a problem he could not solve with structure or money: himself. He began to change his routine. He slowed down. He walked daily. He smiled more in public. He tried to look human. Then he did something unexpected. He started giving money away. Not quietly, not randomly, systematically. Rockefeller believed charity should be efficient, just like business. He funded universities, medical research, public health, education. But this was not pure generosity. It was control in another form. He believed wealth carried responsibility, that money should organize society, not just dominate it. Some praised him. Others did not trust him. They asked a difficult question: can a man who controlled everything also decide what is good for everyone? Rockefeller never answered directly. He believed results mattered more than explanations. By the end of his life, he had given away hundreds of millions of dollars. Institutions he funded still exist today. His public image softened, but the debate remained. Was he a builder of progress or a symbol of dangerous concentration of power? Rockefeller did not care. He had already moved beyond judgment. Part 5. The Man Who Owned Everything. By the time John D. Rockefeller grew old, his empire no longer needed him. That was his final achievement. He had built systems that worked without his presence. Companies followed rules he designed. Institutions used methods he believed in. Modern capitalism began to take shape around ideas he made normal: efficiency, scale, centralized control. Many of the largest corporations today follow patterns Rockefeller used more than a century ago: integration, cost control, long-term planning. Even governments learned from him. But his influence went beyond business. Through his foundations, Rockefeller changed medicine, education, and public health. Diseases were studied differently. Universities expanded. Research became organized and funded at scale. The world became more structured, more predictable, more controlled. Some people saw this as progress. Others felt uneasy. They worried that too much power in one place always creates imbalance. Rockefeller understood this fear. He once said, "The way to make money is to buy when blood is running in the streets." It was not cruelty, it was realism. He believed the world is not fair, and pretending it is only creates chaos. In his final years, Rockefeller lived quietly. He walked, gave small coins to children, smiled for photographs. The man who once controlled everything ended his life calmly, but his ideas never left. Today, when we talk about monopolies, corporate power, and responsibility, we are still talking about Rockefeller. His story forces us to ask a difficult question. Is control necessary for progress, or does progress always demand limits? Part 6. The Man Who Owned Everything. John D. Rockefeller did not wear a crown. He did not lead armies. He did not rule a country. But for a time, he controlled something just as powerful: energy. And energy meant movement, industry, growth, modern life. Rockefeller showed the world that power no longer needed a throne. It could live inside systems, contracts, companies, numbers on paper. He believed order creates strength, that competition creates chaos, that control creates stability. For many people, he was a genius. For others, a warning. He built an empire without borders. He lost it on paper, and he became richer because of it. He gave away enormous wealth. He shaped education and medicine. But he also changed the balance between money and democracy. Rockefeller's life leaves us with a question that still matters today. How much power should one person have? And when wealth becomes larger than governments, who decides what is right? He once said, "I believe the power to make money is a gift from God." He believed discipline was virtue. Efficiency was moral. Waste was wrong. Whether we agree or not, one thing is clear. Modern capitalism looks the way it does partly because of him. This story is not just about money. It is about systems, responsibility, limits. If you enjoy stories about power, empires, rulers, and the people who shape the world quietly, you can continue with other videos on this channel. You can explore how ancient empires believed they were eternal, how royal families controlled Europe for centuries, and how leaders ruled alone under constant pressure. Thank you for listening. And now I want to hear from you. Do you think extreme wealth creates progress or danger? Write your thoughts in the comments.
Thanks! Please subscribe and like. Spin a new yarn with us every week. See you there!